Good morning from Northern Alberta, Canada. I'm Christy. In today's video, we're going on an adventure. We're going to cook what we catch, and we're going to prepare my Zone 3 tulip bulbs for my Zone 2 climate. I'm going to show you what I do. I hope you enjoy. We're going to fish it. Check out how pretty it is, though. It's cold. It's only 3 degrees Celsius. It was minus 1 degree Celsius when we left home, but check this out. The river we're boating on today is called the Peace River, and this is the one we usually go on this one because it's the closest main river to us that has big water. And so the Peace River, it actually begins in British Columbia in the Rockies, and it comes all the way through into northern Alberta. This is a very big river. Actually, it has a waterfall. I've never been there before. One day I would love to go, but the waterfall is 6,000 feet across. It's a massive waterfall. It's not very high. Sometimes in high water you can actually boat over it, but it is very, very, very long, wide. So it's a very interesting river. The fog was really setting in. Had we known it was going to be this bad and the visibility was really, really awful, we probably would have held off going out because it was very dangerous to be out in these conditions. I would not recommend anyone be boating in these conditions, but it did give reference to how well Tyson does know this river like the back of his hand. You can't even see the birds that are flying in front of us. It was pretty intense. I don't know if you can see them or not, but they're there. So today we're going fishing for walleye. I would like to make some walleye for dinner, and this is our last trip out on our boat this season. We will be putting it away for winter, and so I was really excited even though it was so cold. The sun was trying to burn through the fog, and it was very promising. So this is where we fish. This is our favorite spot to go. It's called the Cadott, and it's where the water comes in from the Cadott River and meets the Peace River. And so this is where we like to do our fishing. Tyson was trying to get the anchor in and get us off of a rock bar, and here we are. This is our spot for a few hours. I find on busy days, especially in the spring, I need days like this where I can push pause and just get outside. It was a very eerie sight to see a hardhat floating towards you out of the fog and the mist. But there was road construction going on the bridge in Peace River, and it probably did take this long to get here. So, yeah, I guess hardhats can float a long ways. It was very promising. The fish were biting. It was great. My hands were freezing, and I thought that the fog was going to burn off, but it started to move in again. And when that mist hit you, it was flippin' cold. It was nice in one side, and then really, really icy cold. It was basically ice crystals hitting us, so we decided to cast a few more and head our way back in to get some stuff done at home today. I just really wanted to enjoy this view because it's the last time I'm going to see it this year until next season when we're able to bring our boat out again. This is funny because Tyson always makes fun of us when we get snagged. Tables turned. The river was about 2 feet higher than the last time we came here, so we were fishing in a different spot than we normally do, and there's a lot more rocks and things and snags that weren't there before, so we both got snagged a few times, but we figured it out. I think the thing that made it the most dangerous boating in these conditions was that there was a lot of logs and debris in the water, and it was so cold. So thank goodness our boat has a really good heater because my hands were icicles. It was about 1 degree on the boat, And it was eerie as we were going back because this fog was so heavy. It wasn't a storm, it was just fog. It was really weird. And it was beautiful and spooky and all the things, but it was a nice day to go for a boat ride, even though it was really cold. That was really bleeping cold, but we caught fish. So we're gonna load up the boat. Tyson's gonna load it into the trailer, and we're gonna head on home and get some things done around the yard and cook some dinner. Still amazes me that how down here it's usually so much colder, and yet the trees have so much more leaves than we do, and they're green. And that is why it's so cold. So we're homeward bound, and we're going to clean our dinner. So if you're squirmish, look away. We caught a 24-inch walleye for dinner, and it was just the two of us. This is kind of the average size at the spot that we fish at, of eater's size, and so this one was really big and fat. So we're cleaning it, and then I want to see what's in its stomach to see what to fish with this time of the year.
This is what was in that thing's stomach, so that's why my jigs were working so well. I'll get to that later. Walleye for dinner.
Okay, playtime's over. It's time to get to work on the flower farm and get some stuff done. We're taking my grow bag dirt that is depleted in nutrients. We're spreading that across the bulbs to get an extra mulch layer because these are zone 3. I'm in zone 2, so we need to get these really covered and insulated with air pockets.
I just came to get my water jug, and there's a dahlia budding up. The rest of them froze, but there's still one. There's hope. There's so much hope still. Oh, wishful thinking. We'll see.
So I'm going to take this compost tea that I made. It's really concentrated, and I'm going to dilute it with dugout water, which is essentially a compost tea that's more diluted. Diluting compost tea with compost tea. It sounds good to me. And then I'm pouring it over the garden bed that I just put the depleted soil into, because I'm introducing microbes into the soil with what I just created. That compost tea that I made was made with weeds that I had fermented over the summer. And so now I'm just taking some leaves from the lawn, and I'm going to really heavily mulch that garden bed where I just put the compost tea on top of, to create more air pockets and more mulch layers. And this is going to decompose. It will decompose, and it will create heat, and it will create nutrition for these bulbs. The bulbs don't need to have fertilizer because they have everything they need to bloom, but it will begin a process of amending the soil for the crop after the tulips once I pull them. I need to protect my stuff from these guys.
I just finished up this bed. I only have time to do this one bed. I wanted to do that one tonight. It is not going to get done because the sun is going down. I still have to go do dishes, make supper, and clean up, and do laundry because tomorrow we have Thanksgiving dinner to go to and no one has clean clothes. So it's really hard to see this netting, but I wanted to show you. I put this netting, it's like I got it on Amazon. Basically, it keeps the animals out and the leaves in place. So it's gonna work to hold everything down so the wind doesn't blow it away, and it'll keep the chickens and the cats out of my tulips. So I wanted to show you what I accomplished. And I just have them pinned with my horse's electric fence posts. Since we're not gonna be using them, we won't need them. So I'll use them, repurpose them here. So we're using them all year long. And I just used some old fireplace bricks to pin down in between, so no critters can crawl underneath and get in there and then not get out. So that's what it looks like, and now I'm done.
We've had an abnormally warm season in this fall season, and we have so many bees. I've never seen so many bees before at this time of the year, and they're just everywhere. And so I'm hopeful that they'll find something to eat during this time. It's nice to see them, even though it's really late in the season. We gave the scraps of our fish to the chickens, and they were really enjoying that. I really found that it helps give them a protein and a calcium boost. We have some hens, young pullet hens, that are struggling with their ability to lay a good solid egg, and I did find that we cannot get, a lot of the times we can't get oyster shells here in town, so this is a great option for me to give them fish, and they like it. These are all chicks that I incubated.
You guys are being silly. I'm locked in here now.
These are all chickens that I incubated. I did 2 batches of incubation. This was the second batch. The red ones with the blue gray feathering, those are the Wyandottes that I had mail-in ordered the eggs. And then the fuzzy pants one, the black and white speckled one there, that is going to be one of our main roosters. He is a dual purpose breed. I'm keeping him, and he's a Moline. He also came from the hatching eggs, and so I'm picking through which hens I'm keeping. I'm gonna keep most of the hens that are in this group of incubated eggs, and that rooster, and maybe one Wyandotte rooster, and the rest of the roosters will be processed. And this, like, they're having the best life, these birds. They're free range, they're enjoying life, they don't have any stress whatsoever. They're really nice birds, but all good things must come to an end, I guess. And this is why we raise them, and we're going in a direction of more of a dual purpose bird. That's why we're going with that big rooster. He's very friendly, very pretty, but he's very timid. He's almost too timid, which is why I want to keep one of the other roosters, just so that they can still have protection of the flock. Just because he is so docile, I'm not sure if he will take the role on. And this rooster here, we processed him this night. This was, he becomes bone broth in this video. And the reason he was locked up and that we're processing him is because he was harming, he hurt some of the hens, the pullets, really badly, to the point where they like died. So he is extremely aggressive, and unlike this one, he's like a puppy dog. He follows you around, and he's a really nice rooster. I'm really happy with this breed, and I think they're huge. He's massive, and I think it'll be really great as a dual purpose bird.
Hey, chick chick.
We've dwindled down our flock of guinea, and so we'll be keeping these guys over the winter in a separate coop, but they have integrated well with all the others. So while I gathered eggs and did chores, Tyson processed the rooster, so please be warned. It felt pretty good to be able to make a chicken stock out of vegetables and meat that was 100% home-raised, homegrown I incubated this rooster. I grew all the vegetables. A lot of these were scraps out of the freezer, like the garlic scapes. I grew this. Everything about this was homemade, homegrown, except for the pepper. I bought the pepper. Feels pretty accomplished. Very grateful. Now let's get on to this making dinner thing. The thing about these river fish is they're so, the meat is so shiny. It has all of the metals in it, and that's one thing I'm limiting how much we're consuming, because I think that this fish in particular is a lot of metals in it. But anyway, we're just gonna dredge it into some flour, or I don't know what the technical word is. I'm just throwing it into a bag of flour that had a little bit left in there, shaking it up. And I'm making this in a different way than I normally would. I'm just really tired. It is very late at night and I've had a very long day. So it's kind of like a shake and bake walleye. I did put it in a bowl and decided I was going to add some seasoning. So I just added lemon pepper, dill, and seasoning salt. And that's it. Give it a mix up. And I'm going to fry it in some oil. Tyson, that's what he wanted. That was really the easiest for me to do. I'm so tired in this video. I seasoned it with some more lemon pepper, seasoning salt, and dill. And typically I would do this after, when I pulled it off and it was on the paper towel drying. I would add more seasoning, but my brain was just not functioning today. I don't know why I did it this way. I never do it this way, but this is what I did, so I happen to be documenting it. I gave the potatoes a stir. The potatoes, I just sliced them up and I was frying them in, seasoned up with some granulated garlic, granulated onion, seasoning salt, and pepper. It was very simple and it was delicious. Really, really good potatoes. We haven't had them like this in a long time. We're checking on our bone broth, or our chicken stock, sorry. And it was starting to simmer really well. Got all kinds of things going on in there. I will be pulling the meat off the bone and letting that cook some more in the morning. And yeah, so I just added a little bit more dill to the fish as it was being absorbed of all the grease on the paper towel, and it was actually really tasty. Very good. Well, thank you so much for hanging out with me today and watching my video. I appreciate you. I hope you're having a wonderful weekend. So much love. Bye for now. Lime garlic.